Welcome everyone back to another episode of Macro Crypto. Tax season here in America has finally come and gone. Does that pave the way for some green months ahead for the crypto space? If data is any indication, we are in for a bullish trend. Also, we're going to help set up your 2022 portfolio to be allocated properly with understanding whether it's Bitcoin season or alt season. That way you can have the most success for you and your crypto portfolio. Even though none of this information is financial advice, like ever. We're just here for pure entertainment purposes only. But if you do enjoy the content, give us a like, subscribe, head over to that Twitter page at Macro Crypto Club. Like always, link will be down in the description. Let's go ahead, everyone. Dive into today's content, checking out the Bitcoin monthly return heat map. Over the last 5 years, 4 out of the last 5 have been a very strong month in April for Bitcoin in general and the crypto space overall. We've seen a 27, 33, 28, and 34% return from the start of the month to the end, with the outlier being last year seeing a loss of 1.8%. Now, if history is any indication, we might see a nice strong push to end the month of April over the next 10 days and hopefully carry that momentum into the month of May. Some of our strongest months have also gone into May, seeing a 62 and a 66% return from the beginning of May to the end of May. But with that in mind, also have seen some massive losses within the space, but that did come in a very bearish trend back in 2018, as well as the big crash back in 2021 when we were peaking out in May. Now, also, typically June and July have also been kind to crypto. Usually there is a flip-flop with one stronger month than the other seeing a small amount of losses while also having a big type of push, whether that's June or July. So this is just trying to help you set up expectations over the next 4 months. What does that look like? Because then we're going to go right into the worst months for crypto. August and September. September being the worst of them all, only having 2 months in the green for September, and then for August only seeing 3 of them. So how we can position ourselves helps us better understand history. So we'll see how the rest of April finishes up. Can we get a strong push to end the month and carry that momentum into May? Only time's going to tell, but at least we can count on history to give us a better indication to set us up properly. Now, Ethereum kind of tells a different story. Typically, you can see Ether have stronger early months within the year itself, but also April and May are strong. Now Ethereum itself has a little bit more of an issue for the middle of the summer, both June and July. You can see that they have a strong loss, but it also still has those flip-flops where last year you got a 15.8% loss in the month of June, but then heading into July, you saw a 12% return, which carried that momentum right into a massive August. But also crypto in September don't play nicely with one another. So once you get to September, having that understanding on your portfolio, again, even though Ethereum is rather young, there's only been 2 months in September that have been green. Everything else has just been a red month. So let's see how the rest of this year plays out. Now, trying to give you a better understanding, we've talked about the 21 million supply for Bitcoin. This will continue to get eaten up, and we just want to kind of go over these visualized images. That way you can better understand where Bitcoin is and how it's going to be allocated and how that changes as the years go on. So currently on exchanges, there's over 2.5 million Bitcoin. Each of these blocks indicates 1,000 Bitcoin. Now, the zombie coins here that you see almost match that of what is on exchanges. But the zombie tokens consist of what was in Satoshi Nakamoto's wallet. These zombie tokens have not moved since 2010. If these start to move, chaos ensues, especially if it comes from the Satoshi Nakamoto wallet. If anything moves from there, there is going to be chaos within the crypto space. Good or bad, don't know. A lot of excitement probably. Does Satoshi Nakamoto live? if that starts to move. So it's kind of fun to, think about, but there's a lot of Bitcoin out there that is sitting dormant since 2010. Now, this is the amount of Bitcoin that's in the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust itself, the amount of Bitcoin that's locked up on Ethereum in wrapped Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin is mined. More Bitcoin is on Ethereum than it's mined per year currently. Gives a little bit of a hat tip over to Ethereum. The amount of Bitcoin that's locked up in Mt. Gox currently still, probably never going to get that. And Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, how much Bitcoin they've bought up. Eventually, we will see Terra Luna right here get those reserves up. And then also Tesla, the amount of Bitcoin they own. And then the amount of Bitcoin that was actually used for the first purchase in the history of Bitcoin back in 2010 for a pizza. Yeah, 10,000 Bitcoin. And then the amount of Bitcoin also on the Lightning Network. You don't need a lot of Bitcoin in the Lightning Network to make it work properly. We've gone over this before. And then the rest, supply and circulation, a lot of Bitcoin, and the small amount of Bitcoin still left to be mined. Now, we do want to check out the charts real quick. Bitcoin is hovering around a price of $41,469. We are still underneath that bull market support band. Technically a bearish market support band right now, but we did get that golden cross right back here. Can we push back above this? We want to see it close, and we want to see a candle in concession week after week close above it. Now we'll continue looking at the weekly Heikin Ashi Candles. This is a different view because we're trying to just remove the noise, try to understand where we're currently positioned. Now, if we keep getting a few more red candles, it's not going to look good for the crypto market. Probably going to try to set up for some new lows, maybe a capitulation probably in the coming weeks. But I'm hoping that we can break out above this for the rest of this week. And only time will tell, right? At the end of the day. Now, we will talk about our weekly DCA. In this video, we did allocate another $100 into Bitcoin on April 18th. Puts us at over 3.6 million Satoshis. In May, we'll allocate another $100. And this is just trying to go to show you, just even if you're allocating $100 per week or $100 a month, you can make a lot of returns if you are consistent with it. So if we take a look, if you went ahead and did this back in 2017, just $100 per month for the entire course of the next 5 years, you would have allocated $6,000 into Bitcoin. With the current price of $41,442.08, your returns, the value of that $6,000 would be $47,089 or $47,089.06. You're seeing a massive return within that timeline, and that was only allocating $100 per month. So within this visual, we are doing this now weekly $100 because Bitcoin's worth a lot more. But also, if we only can allocate $100 a month, we are still positioning ourselves up for success. So if you can do that right along with us, we're just giving you a visual on a weekly basis so you can kind of keep track of that along with us, if that makes sense. And just, I keep murmuring that. So now we're better understanding also what season we are in. Are we in a Bitcoin season or we are in alt season? How this graph is indicated is that it takes Bitcoin in comparison with the last 90 days of the top 50 altcoins, which include Ether, but excludes stable coins like DAI or USDC, as well as backed assets like wrapped Bitcoin or staked ETH. But the rest of the top 50 altcoins are in comparison to Bitcoin over the last 90 days. Who has outperformed Bitcoin? Now, currently, we're sitting at 27% of altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin over the last 90 days. Now, that puts us more in a Bitcoin season. Now, if this basically how you can understand this chart and better understand what you want to allocate your funds, what this will indicate is right down here is back in the end of 2020, heading into early 2021, if you remember anything on this, is Bitcoin had a massive run and nothing else did. Everything else just kind of sat there and played the waiting game while Bitcoin outperformed mainly every other asset out there in the crypto space. Now, this was going to be a prime opportunity once you were down there to allocate out of Bitcoin and into alts, because then we had a massive run up for those top 50 alts compared against Bitcoin. Now, you can use this chart to better understand when you should get out of your alts or get into alts, because when we got into now March all the way to June, if you remember 2021, that time was when everything started to crash. Get it out of your alt positions. If you were using this chart, you would have better understood, especially at the peak here, 98% of the top 50 alts were outperforming Bitcoin over the last 90 days. Would have put you in the best position to get out of those alts and set yourself up for the rest of the year successfully. So we'll be keeping an eye on this chart. Currently, right now, like I mentioned, we're at the 27%. If we can get below 25%, have another dip like we did here and both here, back down, that's where we can really know maybe I should start picking up alts. Right now, alts might be a better option for you to pick up at this time if you are looking to allocate into a strong position for later. And then if we get above 75, obviously that's where you want to start getting out of those positions. But we'll keep checking in on this. We will use this chart in our next video when we talk about some of the top 5 alts for the rest of 2022. That way you can help maybe better set up your portfolio and get a little bit of a deep dive into mine and what we are trying to accomplish for the rest of the year. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Till next time, everyone. Peace.